Welcome back to a new live stream from our Summer Startup Challenge. This is an event that we are organizing with the Not development community, and we encourage everyone throughout the month of August to build and work on their app ideas and to try to have something functional by the end of this month. We're going to end everything with a demo day on September 1st, and the best projects will have opportunity to present their applications. And yeah, I encourage you as well to take part of this challenge. Try to put your ideas in practice. Try to build something. Even if you're not going to be able to build everything you envision, it's going to be a perfect start for you to work on the idea that you probably procrastinated for a long time. The same way as I did. And yeah, more information about this you can find following the link in the description below on our website. During this process, I'm also building an application, and I'm documenting the whole journey here on YouTube. We're going live 2 times a week, and all the coding part of the application that I'm building, I'm sharing here. So this is live stream number 6, and we can get started. All right, and before we actually jump into the coding part, I want to mention that this month we also launched our premium community. During the month of August for the Summer Startup Challenge, we're going to have weekly Q&A sessions with our pro members from the community, and I'm going to try to help you build your application with advice and with technical information that I can provide you. You're also going to be part of a private Discord channel where we have already more than 200 members, I think. So it's a very active community that with people that are actually working on their dreams. More information about that you can find following notjust.dev/pro, and only during the month of August we have some special launch bonuses, including a 50% discount forever. So make sure to check out notjust.dev/pro if you want to join and be part of our premium community, and I'm gonna see you inside. Now, previously on Summer Startup, as I said, I'm building an application myself, and I'm sharing this journey with you here on YouTube. The application that I'm building is around the idea of helping couples and families manage their finances together. There are a lot of financial applications, budgeting applications, but most of them are targeting like individuals, and it's a pretty competitive market. In order to have a chance to differentiate in this market, I decided to niche down and specifically build something around managing finances as a group of people, like a family or a couple, and so on. There are a lot of features that we can build in this application, but if I'm going to jump straight away into all of them, the chances that I'm actually going to release something by the end of this month will be very slim. So that's why I will focus on only one feature. I will have it working and with a good user experience. I'm going to launch to real users, and then based on their feedback, I'm going to prioritize what to add next. So that's my goal. I'm going to focus on the savings goals, where couples and families can manage their saving goal, can save towards something. The tech stack that I'm using is, of course, Expo for the mobile applications, Tamagui, and Supabase for the backend. The application is actually already available for beta testing on TestFlight. I didn't manage to publish it on Play Store yet, but that's coming soon as well. So if you're interested to check it out and test it for yourself and help me test this before it goes public, you have opportunity to do that by following this URL. And I also added it in the description. Let me also put it in the live chat if you're interested to join the beta testing on TestFlight. Anyway, so what do we plan to do today? Well, we are approaching the moment when we will release the application to the public. And before I do that, there are a couple of things that I want to make sure that we have in our application in order for us to easier understand what's happening in our application. Here I'm talking about, first of all, analytics. I'm talking about crash reporting for us to understand if the application is crashing all of a sudden, to be able to fix these bugs, because this influences a lot the user experience, so we don't want that. And also, I want to start looking into the app reviews and to ask users to review the application, to give a review, because the way app stores are, the App Store search optimization, the way it's working is very heavily based on app ratings. So the more ratings you have, the higher chances your application will be listed in the search results when someone will search, for example, financial goals or financial tracking. So yeah, that's the goal for today. We're gonna still like fix some of the bugs here and there. That's the process. And before we jump into that, I want to make sure that this point is clear. This is not a tutorial that you're used to on this channel. If you're interested in learning mobile development, you can check out a lot of our free tutorials on YouTube. We have probably cloned most of the applications that you have on your phone. So check that out on our page. Choose a project that is interesting to you, and those are the things that I prepare, and I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy. This one is a documentation of how I build it. I'm not preparing, everything is live, done here, and sometimes with bug fixes and so on. But at the same time, I know that this will be very valuable to people who are also on the same journey to see what it takes to build an application. So, hello everyone in the live chat. How are you doing, guys? Oliver, hello. Thank you for helping me test the application. Al-Huda, hello. Rohit from Somali, hello. Rogelio, how are you doing? Husan, hello, hello. Brooklyn, New York, hello. Is this for beginner? This is not a tutorial. Like, if you're interested in tutorials for beginners, check out our tutorials on our channel. How do we install the application on iOS device without App Store? If you download the test flight and you accept that invitation, you're going to be able to install the application through test flight. That's a way to test your application before it goes public. Oliver is helping me market the course better than I do. Yeah, Oliver is saying, or the full stack course, of course. Yeah, if you went for a couple of videos on YouTube and you are already comfortable building small applications and you're ready to move to the next level, I highly recommend you to check out the full stack mobile development course, which is our premium course that will teach you everything from zero till being able to build end-to-end full stack applications. So yeah, thank you, Oliver, for mentioning that. What companies have you worked at? Just curious. What types of roles? My story, like, I tried everything, like in all environments. I started, I think, when I was 16. I got a job as a web developer after only half a year of coding. And when I got the job, I told them, like, hey, I don't know anything. I'm like, in terms of web development, I'm good at like basic programming concepts. I have a good fundamentals, and I really love this, and I really want to learn more. And they said, like, don't worry, like, we're gonna teach you everything. So it was a small company, like I was a web developer. Then I started doing freelancing. That was going pretty well. Then I got into game development. For game development, first of all, I was doing like freelancing and a couple of my personal games that I launched, which led me to work in a company that was more related to VR, AR, interactive installations. That was also an interesting experience. Then I went to university in Netherlands. I needed a job to support myself, and nobody hired me because I didn't know Dutch. They all require Dutch. So I decided, okay, you know what? I'm not going to give up. I'm going to start freelancing. So I started freelancing. Then I got so many clients that I was not able to fulfill all of them. I hired a couple of developers, and quickly we grew in an agency, development agency. And after that, I wanted to try something corporate, even though I knew pretty sure that I'm not gonna work like in a corporate environment. I just wanted to learn and to see how it is from within. For that, I got an internship at Amazon. I worked there for more than half a year. I received a job offer from Amazon, but then I had like three things to decide from. Like either I'm continuing with my startup, I take the Amazon with a great salary, or I go all in on YouTube and on educational content. And after a lot of debate, yeah, I decided that my passion is helping people and trying to have a bigger impact by helping our developers become teach and learn how to build like applications, and that's how we end up here. So yeah, and also of course I didn't mention like the startups that I co-founded throughout the years. So yeah, from small companies to agencies to corporations like Amazon, it was a great experience to learn from everything and to understand like how everything works there. What's your suggestion for an absolute beginner? For an absolute beginner, like first of all, learn a little bit of the programming fundamentals. What's a variable, what's a if statement, what's a for loop, and so on. And after that, learn something like by building. Like, I don't know, if you're interested in mobile application, follow some of our tutorials with React Native and build a real application. Because if you have fundamentals of React Native, of programming, you're going to be able to follow some of our tutorials. If you're interested in web development, check out some other project-based tutorials, and I think these are a great way to get started. Rogella, you made the correct decision, 100%. You are making a lot of us successful. Thank you very much. Yeah, like after, like the first year, maybe it was harder, but I think after 1 year, like I already was so confident in the decision that I made to be able to help so many of you guys. It's an opportunity. And I always thought like, hey, if that doesn't work, I can always come back to corporate. Like, all right, so let's start coding a bit. And throughout the coding part, feel free to ask questions. We can stop and have a conversation, of course. I'm also gonna put probably some music. Like this. So here is the application. Here we have our onboarding screens. These are some screens that I also want to change because I just have to write something. But probably I can do it like behind the scenes because that's not very interesting. Here, let's go ahead and sign in. I don't know what's happening here. You see, like after I sign in, I get redirected to the quick add, and then I cannot go back. That's weird. Here I also have like our project board. So let me add this to under bugs. After sign in, we get redirected to quick add without back button. Okay, here we have it. Okay, 1 second. I think I'm using the production environment. So I'm gonna have to switch to the local. Let's try that again. By the way, I love your accent. He's nice. Thank you. Not a native speaker. Create authentication app with expert router v2. It's a good idea. What other languages do you know? Romanian is my native language. Also know a bit of Russian. I mean, I can understand perfectly Russian, but it's a bit harder for me to talk. And I'm learning Spanish at the moment. So, yo sé 4 idiomas, pero español es un poquito bad. Bonafide is saying, me and my girlfriend both watch you at the same time and are about halfway through a Wordle clone. That's amazing. That's like couple goals. I heard from some of our subscribers that their partner was already tired of me, and every time they heard my voice in their house, they're like, oh, again, like those tutorials. But it's good that you are on the same page with your girlfriend. I learned Spanish with Duolingo. Sí, mí también. Yo tengo 400 and something, like almost 500 days of streak, but still, the level is quite bad. Yeah, like why active tab undefined? Why are you redirecting here? That's weird. And that's after sign in, right? If I log out and then sign in again. If it's not the first time, I think it's good. But if I close it, for example, if I log out, close the application and start again. That's another thing, like you see, like when I open the application, it first shows the home screen and then it redirects. Have a look, like home screen and then it redirects. So now if I do continue, sign in. Sign in, I'm here. Okay, so that's a bit weird because it happens, I think, because of the fact that initially we are simply rendering the home screen and then navigating back. I don't know why I think that's the problem. Because the second time, if I do log out and then log in, in this situation, everything is fine. But if I open the application, so let's try to fix the problem of seeing the home screen first. Why that can be a problem? Because let's see how our application is loaded. So we have our application. Initially, it loads the underscore layout. So what do we have here? What do we have here? We have a view with providers. And I think, yeah, that's a problem. Presentation mode model. create tab. Don't think we even need it because the presentation card is by default. So let's try just it didn't fix the first problem, but let's see, maybe it fixes the second one. Yeah, I think it fixes the second one. For some weird reason, like I don't think that's a problem, but in a combination that we have right now, I think it does. I'm gonna try again because I pressed skipped in the onboarding screen, so maybe that was a problem. But if I do continue, and here sign in. Oh no. Yeah, I think now it works. Okay, weird. But anyway, like this problem after sign in, we get redirected to the quick add is fixed. But initial open shows the home screen for a split of a second. So that bug, why is it happening? You see? So this layout is a stack. And I think this provider is the one provider, authentication provider. Authentication provider is from the .off, and we have this native. So what it does, this one, use protected route, is the one that is so if I do here console log to onboarding, and here redirect to home screen, let's see. There is this finish loading. Where do I console log it? Okay, let's try again. Redirect to onboarding. Redirect to onboarding. But without this redirect to onboarding, will it always stay on the home screen or where? Yeah, it stays here because I commented out like go to onboarding, but why it even gets here? I'm interested because I don't have an index page. Maybe I should prevent the splash screen from being hidden unless we load the user and know where to redirect. But the provider is inside. That's hard. So, initial session. Where do we use this use protected? Should we create an index.tsx here with, I don't know, a loading indicator, a spinner? Like this. It looks a bit weird, but I don't know, I think it can work for what I want to achieve, like to prevent from displaying the home screen when you're not authenticated. That's what I'm trying to do. And here I can also add a stack. Dot screen options header shown false. And I can add here an Y stack, also imported from my UI. And I can put it in align items center. No, justify content. And flex one. Yeah, like this, index. So in our auth provider, can I console log the console log the segments? Segments is empty, so we are on index. Can I also do a, I don't know, const if the segments.length is equal to 0? That means that we are on this index. So let's think about how we're gonna do the redirection. So if user is not signed in and the initial segment is not anything in the off group, that's correct. We want to redirect to the onboarding. But if user is defined and we are either in off group or we are on index, in both situations, if user is defined, I want to redirect to not this one, but to where? Don't like it very much. So if I uncomment this part, let's see. I think that's good. Let's try to sign in. Okay, now what will happen if I go here? I think it works well. Maybe this index can render the same onboarding screen. Is this live? Yes, this is live. Chris, if you are interested in a tutorial and if you want to learn, check out other videos on our channel that we design as tutorials. This one is not a tutorial. Here I'm just building and sharing the process with you guys. And yes, these are all recorded and will be available on our channel. I'm thinking here, where is it? Let me prevent from going here just to see the index. So instead of spinner, maybe I should do an image with the source, I don't know, import splash assets splash.png. I'm wondering if this is coming from Tamagui or not. Yeah, probably I need to do it like this. So now I think it will look even better, because it's gonna be similar to our. There is this flash that I don't like, but it's not that big of a deal. So we can do index.ts and splash screen causes a image, how's it called, like flash or something like this, flicker. But it's going to be a very low priority. I don't know. It's a P2. And this one is actually fixed. We just fixed it. Complete. Okay, let's go ahead and think we are good here. Okay. All right. I think the next one that I want to work on is probably analytics, because I wanted to give a try to a new service using analytics for mobile applications, and we can learn together how to install it. And here I'm talking about, I think, amplitude, right? Yeah, so the idea is that when launching the application, it's important to understand what's happening in the application. It's important to understand what features your users are using and which one they are not. It's important to understand how often they use the application and if they, how many of them keep using it for a long period of time. That's very important to take data-driven decisions. So for that reason, we need some kind of analytics. In our project that I did, I was integrating with Firebase Analytics, but now I wanted to give it a try to Amplitude, which is not sponsoring this video, and I haven't even tried them. I just want to give them a try. So first of all, I'm gonna check the pricing. I think we have small teams, core analytics, advanced. I hope I'm gonna be able to stay on this one. I guess. Apply what? Up to 1000 MTUs. Okay, let's give it a try. Okay, let's confirm our account. Yes, it's live. How do you want to send data to amplitude? I think with SDK, what's your industry? Finance, maybe. Pick popular finance events to start. Sign up. I don't have a select bank. I don't have a connect bank. I don't have submit money transfer. Do you have access to your code base? Yes. Popular browser SDK. What is amplitude? Amplitude, as far as I know, is a tool that enables us to track analytics and not only. So yeah, let's explore it. I like to take this approach with all the project that I'm building. It's always like to try something new. Like it's an opportunity to give something new a try. Select the data source. Will we have something for React Native? Here we have React Native. Will we have something for Expo maybe? Expo? Probably no, but the React Native. Hope I'm gonna be able to change the API key, setup instruction, yarn, Expo. Let's go with Expo. For iOS, install the native modules. Okay, so let's go ahead in our application. Let's cd to apps expo and here install these dependencies using npx expo install. Then I'm gonna need to do pod install. I can do npx pod install. And once the installation is complete, you can use the following code to initialize amplitude. Let's do that inside our application underscore layout. And we're gonna initialize it here. And we're gonna do amplify init. And I think I'm gonna move this to environment variables. Not sure where actually. So in Expo, if I'm gonna find in folder env, Expo public amplitude. Or nothing. Let me just console log this one to make sure that it works. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run yarn iOS. David, I was out for a minute and I don't understand a thing. This guy is a genius React Native. What I'm doing now is I'm trying to set up amplitude in my project, and that will help me track analytics and data. So I just created the account, I'm installing it and still trying to configure it. What's this song? Okay, so amplitude.track. Next. Okay, we still need to send some data. The problem is that most of the events, they are not happening inside the Expo application. They are happening in our package application because our components are reusable. So I'm gonna probably have to install it here as well. But let's just double check. Yeah, I think it should work because I see the environment variable. And here. So we need to send the sign up event. Where is that happening? That is happening in our authentication in sign up, and there is the sign up screen. So if we go to sign up screen, we get into our application here. So sign up with email. I think that's where we should track it. So what we are gonna have to do is import amplitude here and then do amplitude dot track sign up. Is that how it's supposed to be? Let's try again. View all. Node.js tutorial. We have some Node.js tutorials on the channel. React Native. Track sign up like this. So let's give it a try to see if it works. Sign up. Email. Sign up. Okay, I need another email. What do we do next? Save your organization for a chart. User activity, daily active users. What do you have to do here? Funnel, feature, getting started. Let's do save as dashboard, user activity. So that already shows us some information. At least we're gonna know like how many users we will have. Do you have a tutorial about handle authentication with file-based router? I don't have a specific tutorial for that, but in some tutorials on our channel, we definitely covered that. So, might be in the LinkedIn. I have a short term memory, so I don't remember in which one. User demographics, not yet there, but for example, how would I check finance, media, amplitude academy? Tracks the country. Okay, that's good. Real-time events, sign up. I think what I want to do is I want to track multiple events on different actions that are important. For example, whenever we add stuff, right? So let's go ahead in the transactions, create screen. And here in the create screen, in the use transaction service, we have a create transaction. And if there is no error, we can do amplitude. That we can import where? So let's do amplitude dot track. Event name is add transaction, and most probably we can also send like information about that, but we can look at amplitude docs. SDKs for React Native. Oh, I can simply import track, not everything. And I can add here what? I can add here amount. And we can test it out. So if I go ahead and add a transaction to, I don't even have a goal yet. So let's do the same for goals. Use goal service. We should have here savings, create. Oh, we didn't change the mutation. So, okay. Mutation, if error, throw error, else track add goal. And the goal, yeah, we can have an amount. I can also probably track emoji. I can save it, const new goal equal to this new goal. And here I can do new goal dot amount, new goal dot so now let's try, for example, I don't know, airplane, travel, amount, I don't know, 1000. Let's create the goal and then let's go ahead and add a transaction like 100 towards travel add. Yes, we have it. So now let's check in our console. And for some reason we have 2 user activity. Okay, still have to learn about it. But we see the add goal. Did it also have a event explorer? And add transaction. I'm interested if Jeez, this guy is on another level while me wondering if he has 2 brains or more. It's not like that. I don't know. It comes with a lot of time and experience. But as you can see, like I'm still like figuring it out as we go. So this event has been deleted. Why this event has been deleted? No, it hasn't. Okay, we'll see later how to work with them. At least I'm sending them and that's good. And I see that from the documentation that that's how we send properties. Tracking events to multiple projects. You can track also like revenue and so on. But let's think what is other important like things to track. When the person so far we have sign up, we have, probably we also have to do the sign in, the same way as we have sign up. In the authentication sign up screen, here we have amplitude. Probably we also can take only the track in order to have it simpler. Track sign up. Let's also do track sign in the sign in. I don't know, maybe we will need it. Probably here. Track sign in. Add transactions, add goal, sign up. Oh, and it's also important to when people join group. I need to know like how many people will use it alone and how many people will join groups. So let's track it inside group. Components, join group dialog. So in the join group dialog here, on press join group from use join group, else track, and the track, let's import it from joined group. Okay, what's important? What's important? I think that's good. At least that's what we are interested in. So let's go ahead and do git status, git. Can have a look if everything is okay here. So we change the environment, yarn log. We initialized that one in the sign up. Okay. Analytics implemented. So it was quite easy, less than 1 hour, probably half an hour. We just set it up and also tracked the most important embeds that are happening in the application. And this way, we're going to be able to track like what's happening in the application once we launch it to the public. So analytics, let's say done. Okay, good. Another thing that is probably also important is the error monitoring. And if crashes happen, I want to also be able to see that. Where are you originally from? Are you Spanish? No, I am from Moldova. Yo soy from Moldova. Yo soy from Moldova. So for error thing, I was thinking about integrating with Sentry. Let's have a look at Sentry as well. So see issues that really matter, solve issue, learn insight and improve based on crashes and so on. Issues replayed, test coverages. At least I need to see like crashes and things like that, because it's quite important, and sometimes you do some changes and all of a sudden the application starts crashing and you don't know about it. Let's see the pricing. We have a free tier, limited error and performance. Third party metrics alert. $5,000 errors. 10K, okay. Yeah, let's give it a try. Get started. Okay. Welcome to Sentry. Select your language or frameworks and install the SDK to start tracking issues. Let's start. React Native, does it have Expo? I always wonder. Expo, no. React Native. Configure SDK. If you're using Expo, how to add Sentry to your Expo project. With SDK works for both managed and bare projects. Let's see the guide from Expo. It notifies you of exceptions or errors that your users run into while using your application and organizes them for you on a web dashboard. Reported exception includes text traces, device info, version, and other relevant context information. Why Sentry treats React Native as a first-class citizen, and we have collaborated with Sentry to make sure Expo is too. It's very easy to set up and use. It scales if it's free for up to 5,000 events per month. It streamlines your error reporting code across. Okay. Native crash reporting is not available in Expo Go, but we are not using Expo Go. We are using a development build. Okay, installing. Sign up for a Sentry account. We did that. And we need to create a project in the dashboard. Let's try to open it here. Projects. Have this React Native one. Let's go ahead and create a new one. Is the previous one already created? Okay, let's go from installing Sentry in our Expo, and after that we're gonna come back to see the configuration of the dashboard. So here, what do we have? Let's go ahead and do npx expo install Sentry Expo. Also requires some additional Expo module package to install them. Run Expo application, Expo constants. Aren't they already there? Add the following to your app's main file, such as app.js, but because we are using Expo router, that's going to be our Expo application layout. So I need here process.env.expo public Sentry DSN enable debug if true. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and create this environment variable. Give me just 1 second. Just to find it somewhere. So we're saying that we need organization slug, project name, settings, projects, client key tab. Okay. One second, I'm looking for this security token. I also need to organization, take note, project name, go to Sentry API section and create an auth token. The token requires, okay, give me just 1 second to do that. Create a new token. It needs access to organization read. Yes. Project release. Yes. And project write. Yes. Create token. One second, guys. Dealing with some tokens here. Okay, I think that's good. So I needed to initialize in our here, that's what we did, Sentry. If true, Sentry will try to print out useful debugging information if something goes wrong with sending the event. Set it to false in production. Okay. Capture from native to capture errors. Configuring Sentry Expo is done through the config plugin in your app.json or app. Are you using this library? No. Configure app post publish hook to your project. Why? So what do we have to do? In app.json of our expo, I need here in the expo hooks expo. Do we have hooks here? Not yet. Let's go add the bottom and add hooks. We need this post publish. File, sentry, expo, upload, source map, config, organization. Sentry, organization, slug, or use the sentry org environment variable. What? Oh boy, that's not that straightforward as I thought. Can I at least try without setting up these source maps, this capture exception? And I can do that where? I would do this actually. I would do it at the global level. You can export a nested error bound component from any route to intercept and format component level errors using React error boundaries. Export. Do we have any error boundaries at the moment? Oh boy, how I remember in export template there was an example of error boundary. How do you like using Notion? I love it. Like, I do everything on Notion, from project management, documentation, and so on. I don't know where to find the repository of the template, like the default template of Expo. So I think the easiest way is for me to generate a new one. Let's go projects, playground. So let's do npx create expo application. I don't know, test. Okay. Okay, so we have that project here. If I'm gonna do code, I'm only interested in the test. Oh boy, it's not what I needed. I need template tabs. So Sentry React Native. Site probably layout. Should it be sentry.native dot? Yeah. Should I try to do a wrap around our function? What will that do? Export default, sentry native wrap, and our home layout. Couldn't find native modules export device, but I think we can go ahead and do a yarn iOS. And here I just wanted to check the application layout, and here there is an expo error boundary. But it just exports the error boundary without doing anything else. We'll see either this way, or I can export like maybe after the home screen here, function error boundary. Text from React Native, let's see. Okay, 80% bundling. Let's see what we broke. Come on. Let's see. I saw there. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Stop. What's going on? What if I don't wrap it? Okay, so we already have something. Issues. And if we try to, come on. If I try here, throw new error, dummy error. Oh, come on. Are you guys using Sentry in your applications for crash management? So something is going on here. You don't know why. cd apps expo, and let's just simply do yarn start. I don't need to rebuild. Okay, that's good. And if I initialize this one, that's still good. If I export this error boundary, now there were some problems with Sentry, so let's not initialize it, but let's simply throw this error. So we have the error boundary here that is displaying in case of an error. Here I can do I think it's a very good screen to have like a global error management, error boundary, because it will prevent, if something goes wrong, it will prevent it. So it will prevent the application from crashing. So I'm gonna go with a Y stack and a text from here. Cannot read property state of null. What? At this moment you cannot use Y stack? Probably it's too early. I can work with a view. What happened? If good question. If you were starting from zero, how would you start as a freelancer? Would you use some kind of platform? Would you try to go to get your own clients, or how would you do that? Yeah, definitely try to get your own clients, but you can use like platforms, like freelancing platforms like Upwork. Back when I was doing it, which was probably more than 4 years ago, I've got my clients mostly through Upwork. Try to probably stay away from platforms like Fiverr that would because you're competing with others on the price, and it's a difficult place to be in, to have to build application for 10 or 20 bucks. I don't want you to be in that situation. So try to target like the high-end clients. Try to build your own network. Share. Be active on social media. Share your projects. Share what you can do, and this way you're gonna build like a network of people that might be interested in your services. And always talk about like what you're doing, what the new projects, new things that you have, and that's how you start to build your brand, and it's going to be easier and easier to get clients. What do I have? It's missing a semicolon. Where? I have an R somewhere, but I don't know where I put it. Up JSON package layout pod file. Where is that? Yeah, Fiverr is very cheap. They could take $1 USD per hour. Yeah, definitely. Like it's not something that you want to compete with. Definitely. That's why, a little secret, that's why my courses are not on Udemy. Because on Udemy, all the courses are very low quality, and all of them are like $10. And I don't want to come with a premium and high, like very in-depth course and compete like with the ones like to the bottom. As simple as that. What is YStack and Tamagui? It's a view that has a flexbox and will render things in a column. YStack. Xstack will render them in the same line. So very similar, like a view with a flex direction. That's it. Dummy error, and if I minimize it, I see the error screen here. Okay. What I was doing here, error boundary. Background color. Let me do align items center, and justify content as well center. Dummy error. Background color black. Text here style. Wait, is it really true that I'm not gonna have access to... Yeah, but probably that's true. Color white. Let's do... Oops. Something went wrong with a font size 24, font weight 500, margin vertical 10 or 20. Here I can do Gainsborough for the error message. For the error message. And for try again. Let's add some margin vertical 20 as well. I can also do a border with one border color white, padding 20, maybe 10, border radius 20, yeah, I think that's good. And if in this error boundary, if I'm not gonna load it here, but maybe here, and if let's go ahead and try now to initialize sentry and hope that press here to retry. Sentry logger integration installed and handle promise rejection. And what we can do is inside this error boundary, we can have a use effect that will trigger based on props.error. And when that changes, I want to do sentry.native dot something, I don't know what. Sentry.native. Capture exception. Why don't write style in CSS files? I usually do that, but this one was just for this error boundary, so it's okay. My goal right now is to make this sentry work rather than make the application, the code clean, because I can always clean the code. Error, dummy error. Yeah, that's the one that I was looking for. And we have a component stack trace in home layout. That's already good. That means that, yeah, what we have done so far is we installed an configure sentry, which will help us track in a global way our crashes and errors. Then we created an error boundary that instead of crashing the application, it will rather try to render this screen. So if something bad happens in the application, it will not crash the application completely. It will simply show this screen with maybe some details. I can add here like some information like, hey, please send an email or like a way to send some feedback. But anyway, like when this error boundary renders an error, it will be captured by Sentry. Here I probably should check if props.error is defined only when to track it. I don't know if it can be undefined because it's always defined. So in any case, I can leave it like that. And yeah, that's good. Then we're gonna see them here, and I'll be able to see like which are the most common crashes. I can go and debug it. But that's not everything, because I think we also need to configure properly in order to get proper stack traces. So I'm gonna go again through this documentation on Expo. The installation, we have done it. In the code, we initialize it correctly. We set debug to true. Set it to false in production. Can I do that somehow automatic? I don't know. Depending on which platform. So for native, we are doing sentry.native. Okay. Capture event. Okay. App configuration. Configuring centering Expo is done through the config plugin in your app.json or okay. Configure a post publish hook. Add Expo hooks property to your project app.json. File Sentry Expo upload source map config organization Sentry organization slug. I think I can do that. This is amplitude. This is Sentry organization settings. This is my organization slug, and that should be inside the app.json. And project name, this is React Native. Let me rename it to Femify. Save. Okay. Now back to this organization project. To upload the source map to Sentry, you must create a Sentry of token. We did that. After creating your Sentry of token here, you can configure this token through Sentry of token environment variable in EAS build. Okay, that would be inside expo.dev, because I already am building using expo EAS, and I think here in the secrets. So give me just 1 second to set the secret. Create. After creating you can configure this token through the center of token environment variable in EAS build. You can configure and the value, 1 second. Never commit secrets to your repository. Keep the sentry of token in a safe place outside your repository and use the environment variable instead. Beside the auth token, you can also configure the following options through environment variable. Organization, we can do that through sentry org or project. I think the sentry project and sentry organization was okay to do that directly. Maybe if we want to have different projects for different environments, we can do that with environment variables. In addition to the required config fields above, you can also provide set commits. Whether or not to tell Sentry about which commits are associated with a new release. This allows Sentry to pinpoint which commits are likely causing an issues. I don't think I need that. Add the config plugin. Okay, in the Expo plugins, we need the Sentry. Expo plugin, where is plugins? Sentry Expo is added. That's good. Source map. With a post publish hook in place. That one. Post publish. Now all you need to do is run expo publish and the source maps will be uploaded automatically. We automatically assign a unique release version for Sentry each time you hit publish based on the version you specify in app.json and a release ID on your backend. This means that if you forget to update the version but hit publish, you will still get a unique Sentry release. Expo publish. But Expo publish is sunsetting. With Expo updates, yeah, that's what I'm using. Release builds of both iOS and Android apps will create and embed a new update from your job. This new update will not be published automatically and will exist only in the binary with which it was bundled. Since it isn't published, the source maps aren't uploaded in the usual way like we are when we run Expo publish. Actually, we're relying on Sentry's native scripts to handle that. Your release will automatically be set to Sentry's expected value. The configuration for build time source maps comes from let's see, so far I basically see human readable issues here, like stack traces. So if I'm gonna have a problem, I probably will come back to read more about this documentation, but now I kind of see. So we'll have a look if I misconfigure something. If you're using it or if you're self-hosting, you need to take the following steps to upload the source map for your update to Sentry. Run EAS update. This will generate a folder in your project. Oh boy. Well, anyway, I will see how this will go. I don't think I need this is the way to that it will work because I'm not using publish. So I think I'm gonna comment this out. And in the layout, I'm not gonna send that error. I'm gonna return null here and everything should work fine. Clinton, thank you very much. The stream is lagging. I don't know what's happening. Is that on the app directory layout in the root app directory? Yes, I was doing that on the root layout to add a global error boundary. But yeah, let's. I'm gonna use it like this. Sentry and global error boundary. And the status of this is done. I'm gonna still like have to go back and see if everything is working there properly. But it looks good. Okay. Give me just 1 second. I come back and we see what we are working on next. Okay, I am back. Where can I learn how to use TypeScript for React Native? The best way would be, like, if you already have experience with JavaScript, just try using TypeScript in a project, and that's gonna be the easiest way to learn like the basics and fundamentals. You're gonna go through the TypeScript documentation while building and trying to understand how everything works. I think that would be the easiest. Okay. What? This one is a fun amount saved this month. This is a stat, like a statistics, that we can render here on the home screen. Because so far we have like total saved, but we don't have total saved this month, which I think is also quite an important metric. So let's go ahead and work on this feature because it shouldn't be that hard. First of all, what we need to do is do yarn super status in order to see in order to see our studio UI. And this is our super base dashboard. Let's go here. We have our database, and there we have our functions. We have total saved by group. Should we edit this function to total saved by group to give like basically a time frame, like this month or this year, and to return that to the user. Select amount from transactions where is this one. And if I'm gonna do that with an SQL editor, is equal to, I don't know, 1, no rows returned. Okay, let me check in the tables, transactions, and the group is one for a lot of them. And there is also created at, which is a timestamp. So should I do here and created at, I'm gonna use Postgres filter based on timestamp. Transaction edit table. What do we have here? Created a timestamp z. Okay, is more than your solution file. Probably created at is more than a string, and a string can be like this, and probably will it work like this? Run. It's null. Still null. But if it's less, it's 200. Okay. If it's more or equal. What if the month will be 07? Okay. And what if we only provide the year? Yes, it works. Okay, so let's go ahead, and what we have basically to do is adjust the current function that will calculate total amount saved. Edit function. I'm going to use ChatGPT to help me do that. I have this Postgres function. Update this function to include an optional parameter date from and date to, right? Yeah, date from that will be applied as a that will be used as a filter for created at. Let's see. We need to add the parameter in the function signature. So that means that arguments I cannot be referencing the function. You see, I cannot change the arguments. So most probably I'm gonna have to create a new one. Or maybe even delete this one. And create a new one. Total saved by group. Total saved by group. Return type. What was the return type? Was it integer? Numeric. Probably float 8. Group ID, and we also need date from. The group ID should be of type int 8, if I'm not mistaken. We can look at the groups and check what's their. Yes, it's int 8. The date from should be a timestamp TZ, I think. Now let's see what ChatGPT told us. If date is provided, use it in the where clause, otherwise ignore it. I'm gonna have it, I'm not gonna have it as optional. So I'm always gonna have to send it. So I don't need this if statement. So I can check it based on this one. So we have what? Select sum into total amount from transactions. From transactions, where transaction.group ID equal to this is the name. It should be this one. And transactions created at is more than or equal date from, but it also should have this field. If total amount return 0. Let's try. I think the application should crash right now because that function, and I need to do yarn super migration update total saved function. We will generate a migration to store like these updates inside our migration files because we are doing it locally, and using these migrations we're going to be able to update our production Supabase project. And after we do that, we should also generate the types. Which is the difference between the kind of int, I mean int4, int8, and so on. It's the size of numbers used for that integer. So an int8 will use 8. First of all, like an int4 will use 4 bytes to store the number. And the maximum number that could be stored in 4 bytes is, let's do, what's the maximum number stored in int4? It's, I think, 32,000 or 32 millions in 4. It's a 4-byte integer. Yeah, is that 2 billion? This is a million. Yeah, it's 2 billion. So if the value that you are using will never exceed, like you're sure that it will never exceed 2 billion, you can easily store it in int4 and your database will use less memory. But if you know that the number can be more, what about int8? In that situation, you use an int8. Int8 uses 8 bytes to store it, and that's the minimum and maximum number that could be stored in an int8. That's quite a lot. But it will use double the amount of size for every single entry for that specific column. So instead of 4 bytes, it will use 8 bytes. Okay, warning. Okay, let's do yarn super g to generate the types. And then we're going to go into our packages, application features. On the home screen, we have overview section. And here we're using what? Use count goals, total saved. Use get total saved. As you can see, this one is no longer, yeah. Besides the group ID, what we also need is the date from. Now it's 0, but if we add date from, new date, and if I do what I was using here in the queries. I'm pretty sure that data will not be before like 2020, right? Because the application was not launched there. So for the total amount of save, I can use this, and that calculates correctly. And I can also have a get total saved. I can also have a query for total saved this month. And I think I'm gonna use the same kind of, or maybe I can export a different function. Use get total saved this month. And what I can do here is total saved what if instead of two separate functions, I'm gonna have one that will also receive the date from. Date from, which is going to be of type, let's do a type date, and after that we can do here date from dot to string, or maybe to ISO string. So in the overview section here we can do new date 2021. It works, but if I do 2024, it's 0. But we also need to add it at the query key, the date from. Maybe I can do date from to string. This way, if I change something here, it automatically updates. Yeah. So I'm gonna do, yeah, like, I don't know, even 2000 will be okay. Total saved. And I'm gonna use the same hook twice. I hope that's possible. But in this case, I'm gonna say total saved this month. Use get total saved. Let's do, I don't know, 2023. I think here I will use the import notjust. Or even JavaScript date 1 month ago. Or it should be last 30 days actually, should be better. To get the date for 1 month ago from the current date in JavaScript, you can use date. That's 3 lines of code. Can I do it with what about notjust? I think that's what we use. What I was doing with Supabase, I created a SQL function that will calculate like the total amount of money saved for an account. I had it before, like to calculate the overall total, but what I want you to do now is to be able to also send a date to see, for example, how much money we saved during this month. So type notJust is missing in the following property to date. To string cast notjust type to date. Dot to date, and that would be total saved last 30 days. So we can use an overview card as probably even the second one with save 30 days. Let's do this one is 0. So if I add here a new transaction 1 2 to travel, what's happening there? Oh, what's going on? Wait a second. Stop. What is the problem there? It's simply updating. Don't it? Oh boy, what? Uh, from notJust object, keep only the date without time. Start of day. Let's try again. Reload. In total saved, what do we have? Okay, but if I'm gonna go ahead and refresh, and for example, in the transactions, the latest one that I created, probably it's this one. If I say that this one was added previous month, so during 007, not even 18, but 17. We should see something different for the last 30 days. Total saved 112, and last 30 days is 100. And if I go here, we see that 12 were a month ago, and yeah, that's correct. And I can also add to the overview card. What else does it have? It has title value, badge text, I know, for example, plus 30%, and I can do badge state success, for example, and badge after ABC. What's that? No, don't want. Let me check how is that in our screen here, because in our screen there we have what? Achievement card with icon, title, I just want to see how the previous home screen is looking. Pages, not pages. Expo, up, tabs, index, and here instead of my home screen, I'm gonna import screen. Oh boy. Yarn SBI to run the storybook. Maybe there we can find more information. But anyway, in the home components overview section here, besides the last 30 days, I will also need to do, oh, but I'm not gonna be able to do it. Or maybe like last 60 days and then minus the last 30 days. So I can do total saved last 60 days. Or let's do last month. No, let's do 30 days and 60 days. And then what I can do is previous month equal total save dot what is gonna be a number minus total saved this one Okay, so I need to to know the percentage of how much more we saved this month compared to previous month. So const increase is equal to if let's use ChatGPT. Having two values, month 1 and month 2, calculate the increase of month 2 compared to month 1 in JavaScript. Month 1 minus month 2. Let's use that. Month 1 value is previous month probably. And the other one is total month saved here. dot to fixed 1, and I can use it for this value. %733%, because it compares the 100 with the 12. So 100 compared to 12. Maybe I can do 150 to make it easier. Where was that? 12. 50 previous month and 100 this month. That should be 200% more. That's, yeah, but it doesn't have a plus sign. So I think I will do the plus sign if increase is more than 0. It should be plus sign. Oh, but increase now is move it to fixed there. So plus 100% if this month we did twice as much. But if previous month we did twice as much, that should be minus 50%. Let's see. Total save should be 300, minus 50%, and the success should depend on increase more than 0. Should be success, otherwise failure. Okay, looks good. I think that's good. But what if previous month we would not have anything? I'm afraid it will compare with, for example, 0.1 here. It might crash because it will divide by 0. Infinity. Here we divide by month 1, so that means previous month. If previous month equal to 0, I don't know, increase is 0. And then in the badge text, I should do if increase equal to 0, then don't show anything. Yes, if increase is 0, it doesn't show anything. If they increase by going here 0.7, if we have less, it's going to be minus 50%. If we're going to have more, it's going to be plus 50. Plus 100. Yes. Yes. Should I do it to fixed 0? Yeah, I think it's okay. And I think this one total amount of goals I can do last because it's not that important. Like it's important to know like how much you saved last days, maybe total amount of saving. Only then. Okay, that's good. Now what we're doing is calculating and also showing some comparisons as well, which is really nice. Let me check if I didn't leave any console logs, which I see here. And other than that, this feature is finished. Yarn, not yarn. Git add, git commit. Saved this month stat. Okay, perfect. So I think stat amount saved this month. Finished. All right, I think that's everything for today. We managed to implement quite some important features. We implemented analytics. We implemented Sentry to be able to track all the crashes that are happening in production. And this will help us understand like if something goes wrong with our application. And we will be able to take action to fix the issues. We added one extra feature for the information that we display. And yeah, we are very ready to start launching the application. If you are interested, you can already join the test flight and start testing this application, using this application for yourself. And yeah, that will help me a lot to understand, to beta test it before we launch it publicly. To join that, I will leave a link in the description below where you can use it here. And yeah, when it comes to the Summer Startup Challenge, I really can't wait to see your project. Yesterday we had the Q&A sessions with our pro community, and I managed to see a couple of projects that people are building. So very excited about that. If you are also interested in more personalized help, make sure to check our Not Just Development Premium community by following the URL in the description below. We have some launch bonuses only available during August, and we're gonna have weekly Q&A sessions with pro members during August for the Summer Startup Challenge, and later on we're gonna have them every single month. So a lot of things happening there. I can't wait to see you. And yeah, good luck with building your projects. We are gonna see each other next Tuesday with the continuation of this project. Maybe we're gonna even start working on some new features. We'll see. All right. Thank you. Oliver, you're still here. That's amazing.